here in Sydney, not just famous for the Harbour Bridge or the Opera House. What about these magnificent scenes that we are witnessing here? The beaches of Sydney on the northern side, down in the Shire, you name it. They've got some wonderful, wonderful places to go and visit, relax, hit the water, hit the waves, hit the beaches. Some of the spectacular, spectacular scenery here in Sydney. Of course, we are here for the Star Australian Open for 2014, and more action coming up.
Yes, women's doubles final will be up next, which gives us a chance to look at the Destination Dubai rankings at the moment. And the pair at the top there, Matsutomo and Takahashi, in today's final. Their opponents in today's final are currently ranked number 8. Now, if the Chinese pair at 8 were to win today, they'll go up 4 places to number 4 in the world ranking. If they're beaten in today's final, they will go up only 2 places to number 6. But one thing is certain, is the Japanese pair will remain number 1.
Time now to bring the two teams out onto court. A very warm welcome for the teams from China and Japan. Between Tian and Zhao of China versus Matsutomo and Takahashi of Japan.
Well, by quarter-final stage in the women's doubles, there was only 5 of the 8 seeds remaining. And when you look at that, 2 Chinese pairs, 2 Korean pairs, 2 Japanese pairs in quarter-final stage, that I suppose is indicative of the dominance by those 3 nations in this women's doubles discipline.
On my left, change.
Well, the players will change ends with their kit bags before the warm-up period begins. Didn't quite get that. Who chose ends there?
Serve.
Completely.
Zhao. Service. Who will receive? Ayaka.
So I guess it was the Japanese that won the toss and chose that far side of the court to begin. Now here's an interesting thing. The rules of the BWF state that in all Super Series events, the players on opposing sides must wear distinctly different coloured clothing. Now, I know that one kit is orange and one is a sort of a pinky colour, but is that distinctly different? I don't know. Make your own judgment on that. There is Ayaka Takahashi, 24-year-old, her partner, 2 years younger. And 2 weeks ago, in the final of the Japan Open, the first of this series of 3 Super Series events that we've had back-to-back, they won their maiden title, having appeared in their 5th Super Series final. So, of course, today is their 6th Super Series final, and they make it 2 titles in 2 weeks. World ranking of 3, as we saw a little earlier. They're number 1 on the Destination Dubai ranking list. And they got a bye in the first round because of their seeded position. Semi-final yesterday against the twin sisters Liu Ying and Liu Yu of China. 2 straight games. I thought that was very impressive indeed. So to the Olympic champions, and Tiang Qing, who we're looking at the moment, and her partner Zhao Yunlei won the gold medal in London 2012. And they have been experimenting with the partnerships. They're both 27 years of age. The world ranking up 2 places to number 8 this week. They're the number 5 seeds here. And they, like their opponents, have only had to play 3 matches because they got a walkover in the first round against that Malaysian pair. But look how they have battled in the 3 matches they've played. 2 Korean pairs back-to-back, and then the number 1 seeds, the European champions, Pedersen and Rutejul of Denmark, in yesterday's semi-final. The first of their matches against the Koreans was 1 hour and 26 minutes. In fact, they haven't had a match that's under an hour yet. So you can see this is the 9th meeting between the two pairs. And the last time they met, it was won by the Japanese pair. That was in the quarter-final of that Malaysian Open earlier this year.
Players ready, please.
So I suppose when you compare the time on court, 3 hours 42 minutes for the Olympic champions as opposed to 2 hours 19 minutes for the Japanese pair. Well, we talked a little yesterday as we look at our court officials, Richard Bramley and Susan Taylor. Richard Bramley from New Zealand, Susan Taylor from Australia. I suppose when you look at the time on courts, it should have an influence, but quite frankly, I think that the two pairs are so physically fit in their stamina, I don't think that it will make any difference for today's final.
Well, someone who's very interested in the final and joins us in commentary again is Mark Nichols.
Yeah, I love the ladies' doubles. It's always such a strategic game. You know, it doesn't quite have the same level of power as the men's game, so they have to be much more strategic in their thinking and their placement. I'm looking forward to this match.
On my left, Misaki Matsutomo, Akaya Takahashi, Japan. Zhao Yunlong to serve to Akaya Takahashi. Level. Play. It's over. 1 love.
Yeah, nice idea from Matsutomo.
It's over. 1.
And I've been talking in recent times about her influence on the women's doubles game. Now Matsutomo has been recently concentrating a lot more and playing a lot of mixed doubles with Kenichi Hawakawa. And whilst they haven't been getting through to finals days of tournaments in the mixed doubles, I think her playing mixed doubles has made her a much, much better women's doubles player in that she's prepared to hunt the shuttle at the net. I thought a year or so ago that this Japanese combination were too negative, too defensive.
Yeah, and obviously for all doubles events, it's absolutely critical for the front player to take control of the rally and really try and influence the play. You can't afford to stand back and watch. You have to be injecting yourself into the rally.
Yeah, good smash from Zhao Yunlei.
3-2.
That's wild.
You can see where in ladies doubles you really have to be patient in your attack and solid in defence, and often it's that counter attack that tends to give you an opportunity.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday, didn't we, Mark, with the Olympic champions playing against the European champions, because the Danish combination were blocking a lot to the net, and one of them following that forward. Yeah, good smash across the body.
4-3.
She's not very tall. She has a big wind up on that smash and is able to generate some serious racket head speed.
Yes, Sayaka Takahashi, older sister of Japanese women's singles player, the left-hander Sayaka Takahashi.
Play.
I think in Grand Prix tournaments or above, they became the first siblings to win titles at the same tournament in different disciplines when they both won titles at German Grand Prix Gold earlier this year.
4-all.
Oh, late decision. Yeah. Well, Mark, we were discussing yesterday about the prospects of a long-term future as far as the Olympic champions are concerned within their partnership, and we did surmise that maybe it's not going to last that much longer. I know this is very, very early stages, but I've already seen one or two signs that maybe Tian Qing isn't quite as sharp as Zhao Yunlei.
Yeah, it's interesting when you've had a lot of success with a partner, you do also wonder whether a change is as good as a holiday at times. You spend so much time together.
Well worked by the Japanese pair. And it's the more aggressive style in recent months that's taken them to success. And that was so typical of their play. Very, very well worked.
It's really exciting to see them so positive and up and about early in this match.
It's gone long.
7-4.
Just lost their way a little bit in that rally.
Service over.
Japanese pair,
5.
the Olympic champions, are ready to move onto any loose shuttle.
It's just clever play. It's definitely Misaki Matsutomo's shot to play. Just seemed to take a racket away from that defensive shot. Oh, the opportunity was there. Just snatched at that a little. Matsutomo.
7-all.
I think it was too big a swing of the racket. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think so many times in a long rally you can get caught up with that thinking that I've got to put the shuttle away, but I think it was there just to be touched back over the net and reset again. I don't think there was a winner in that one.
Yeah, good rally. I think we can expect to see more and more rallies like that.
Eight, 7.
You see the Chinese pair very patient, waiting till the end of the rally to counter-attack.
Shuttle.
So on a run of 4 straight points,
Play.
former world #1s and reigning Olympic champions go into the lead.
It's dropped in.
Service over. 8, all.
Well, I'm surprised about the smash from Zhao Yunlei in hitting
8.
out wide. Really opened up the possibilities and the angles and played her partner into trouble from a double Olympic champion. She's also mixed doubles gold medalist from London 2012. That's a little bit of a surprise. Oh, it's gone long. Well, I think she could have played the winner from that one, but it bothers me there's such big swing of the racket because, of course, the more you're swinging the racket, the better your timing of the shot has got to be. If you just have a short, sharp movement of the racket head.
It was slightly mishit there, and I think that's what made the difference. That big swing of the racket.
Nice idea on the return of serve. Going just wide.
9.
That's very, very well taken from Tian Qing. And it is the Olympic champions who have the advantage at the mid-game interval. Just 2 points. Well, 12 minutes to the mid-game interval. We've seen whole games go quicker than that earlier in the week. Well, we were certainly expecting some long, hard rallies, and we're getting them.
Certainly no easy points to be won out there. Both teams have fantastic defences. It's just how they construct their rally and how patient they are that makes all the difference.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Japanese coaches.
Thank you.
Kai Nakajima.
Coach. 11-9. Play.
So on a run of 3 straight points, the advantage at the mid-game interval, the Chinese pair. And during that mid-game interval, Mark, you were talking about the need to be patient in women's doubles, and there's no doubt about that whatsoever. But I watched this, and in comparison to the semi-final that we watched yesterday with this Chinese pair playing against the European champions from Denmark, I don't think there's enough real precision on their attacking play from the back of the court. I think they're hitting down and expecting speed of shot almost to be the winner and force the weak reply. I would like to see more thought process. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be patient, but, you know, whether it's specific for the inside hip or whether you're going to go a little bit flatter or something, to me it's just too much hitting. Am I being hypercritical?
No, I think you're right. I think there's a difference between being patient and being defensive.
Yeah.
You know, they need to remain positive. They need to force errors. The Chinese pair are not going to make errors, and the Japanese pair aren't going to make errors there. If you allow your opposition to just dictate the rally, you know, you're really not a master of your own destiny.
No, that was a better smash. Gone cross court again and again, playing themselves into trouble. Chinese pair. Now you see, that last smash from Takahashi was aimed towards just on the forehand side of Zhao Yunlei. And that's what I want to see more of, those slightly across the body, be more precise rather than just hitting downward. Because then it does involve the net player.
Absolutely. It's those subtle differences that often are not that obvious that make all the difference.
It's gone long. And we're not seeing in this match, in contrast to what we watched in the semi-final, we're not seeing that either pair or any of the 4 players taking the half chances that we saw the Danes taking yesterday. Is that just a complete contrast in philosophy and tactics between the Asian way of playing and the European way?
I think so. I think, you know, you see that variation. You know that the Danes prefer to play an attacking style of game. They're not as comfortable with playing long defensive style rallies. So, you know, that it's so important for them to mix it up. But, you know, I find in these games as well, when you see the pairs, when they do it, they're much more successful.
And that's why I think the Japanese pair have improved so much, because Matsutomo now does take some half chances going forward to the net. It's going wide.
It's over. 14-12.
I think at the moment, the more that the Japanese pair stand and drive and smash at the Chinese, the happier the Chinese will be. They prefer the pace to be on the shuttle. They like to work their opponents out of position.
Oh, what a delightful drop shot from Tian Ching.
15-12.
Yeah, that's the good smash. That's where you set it up. They're going towards the right hip. And immediately, it's very, very difficult for Tian Qing to play the defensive shot. It's a weak reply, and therefore the net player can play the winner.
As you said before, it has to be precise. You have to be able to pick that position exactly right onto the hip of the opposition.
Well, confusion between the two Chinese players, both leaving it for the other. And that perhaps because they haven't been playing so regularly together. So now just 1 point in it. Going wide.
It's over. 16, 14.
Relentless there from Zhao Yunlei.
17.
And you could really see the Chinese pair returning the favour onto the right-hander's hip. 3 smashes in a row, forcing the error.
Rally. That's the good smash. Not sure we're seeing enough of the mid-court area either. It's either a smash or it's a lift or clear right to the back. There we go, that's mid-court. The error from Zhao Yunlei.
So it's over. 15, 17.
Oh, it's called long. They're having a little think about it. They're going to challenge.
It's over.
Well, it's a critical
18.
stage of this opening game.
15.
Oh, if they really thought it was close, I would have thought it was the ideal time to use one of your challenges.
Obviously one of the more difficult challenges to make on your opposition player's baseline.
Oh, I certainly would have challenged that.
That was very
Crikey.
close. Very close.
Well,
15.
just 2 points away from this opening game now. Olympic champions. Just have arrived. Just does prove how critical that point was, that line call at the back that was so desperately close. Well, the arms are spread once again from Zhao Yunlei, and I'm surprised the umpire hasn't said don't try and influence the line judges, but there is confirmation that the Olympic champions have taken the opening game 21-15. Japanese coaches, Amanaki and Kai Nakajima. There's something about the defensive play there. Always amazes me when the pair has two coaches coming on and the two coaches speak to the players independently.
This is the Star Australian Open Badminton Championships for 2014. Some of the stars came out for a media call, and there was lots of interest on the players that have come down under to take part in this, the 8th stop on the MetLife World Tour. And some of them got mobbed, including this man. And they are enjoying themselves, and we are enjoying the action in this doubles for women.
So the number 5 seeds from China, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, Olympic champions, of course, having secured that opening game, and I wonder if that will just give them the confidence. I thought when they were playing their semi-final that, to me, they just didn't seem to have the sort of aura that they've had about them in the past. They now do look a little bit vulnerable. And I don't know whether it's because they've tried different partnerships or whether they're just not happy playing together or quite what it is.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to drift in and out, didn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't a consistent approach throughout the whole match.
Oh, that's right. That was put away as if she meant it. And why not? Oh, that's found the line too. Well, they're thinking about, they are going to challenge.
Tian and Zhao.
Very early on in the game to be making a challenge. Oh, here we go. I thought the line judge got it right. Yep, certainly did.
Please. Challenge unsuccessful. Tian and Zhao, 1 challenge remaining. 2 all.
That's more thought about the downward shot. It's interesting though, Mark, I don't think there's anybody in the sport of badminton who is against this challenge system. Everybody loves it. They love the involvement of Hawkeye and the technology that's now involved. But I think the players dare I say it, are a little naive about it at the moment. I mean, quite frankly, at 2-1 in a second game, why do you risk one of your challenges? Because at the moment, the pairs or a player in singles is only allowed 2 unsuccessful challenges per match. So now they've only got 1 challenge left, and they'll be really nervous about making the challenge. I think back to the latter stages of the opening game, and I'm convinced, because from our commentary position, I can see the Hawkeye men, and I can see their monitors. And I think that one where I said, my goodness, I would have challenged that. I think that was in.
Well, and particularly when you get towards the end of the game, it doesn't make any sense to keep them in your pocket.
No, exactly.
If it's a critical point at around 15, 16 in the match,
yeah,
it just seems like a waste to walk away with 2 challenges at the end of the match. You know, it's too late to use them once the game's over.
Exactly. And if it's at a critical stage, and I can't remember exactly what it was, I think it was 17-15.
Yep.
You know, if you've challenged then, it's only 1 point deficit. And there's a huge psychological difference between 18-15 and 17-16.
Absolutely. And it did seem to change. The momentum changed at that point.
Yeah. So the players have got to learn tactically when to use these challenges. I think we ought to start a campaign as well, though, about more challenges. Because it's so wonderful. It involves the crowd. We get the right decision, the correct decision.
They seem to have increased their intensity a little bit in the first part of this second game. They've been caught out of position a couple of times using the big smash and the full cross-court drop shot, the Chinese pair. Now focusing a lot more through the centre of the court.
I think she was in half mind as to whether to leave that lift. Unsure whether it would have landed in or not. Seemed to be hesitation with the overhead shot there from Matsutomo. Yeah, definite hesitation.
She has quite an unusual technique for her overhead shot as well. Her elbow stays quite low. So I haven't seen too many players using that technique.
So presumably you're not necessarily in favour of the technique. You think it's restricting her?
I think these things evolve over time, probably from when you're a junior player, your own individual style, but you know, it does potentially limit your options. If you've got to bring your arm up to the shuttle.
Yeah, I can see your point. Also, technically, I don't think she turns her shoulders enough, but that's a different issue. Oh, hang on here. What's the umpire going to say? We're looking at that again. And the umpire having a quiet word with Zhao Yunlei. I think that's about her celebrations after the rally. So it's a run of 6 straight points coming from behind. I think that's 7 straight points.
And that's a beautiful smash through the centre of the court. We saw them, as I mentioned before, about them losing their way a little bit, playing full cross-court smashes. Really started to see them use that channel you spoke about earlier, Jill.
Well, I think that was absolutely vital as far as the Japanese pair were concerned. Stop that run. 7 straight points when you're already in a dire situation. As the Japanese have lost the opening game, you really can't afford to allow your opponents to get that sort of run. Oh, that's a loose serve. Yeah, they were under pressure from the onset of the rally. And we go to the mid-game interval and a 6-point advantage for the Olympic champions. Well, I suppose that run, Mark, I mean, it's so typical of this Chinese pair, isn't it? I've just got a question mark going through my own mind as to whether the Japanese pair are really, whether they should change up their tactics and try and do something a bit different, because playing like this, they're not going to win this.
No, that's right. You know, they really have to refocus on how they are going to find a way through this unbelievable defence that the Chinese have. You know, controlled aggression in ladies doubles is so important. You can't afford to stand back and watch.
Okay, so we're talking about the fact that they've got to be more focused, the Japanese pair, if they want to win this final. But tactically, I agree with you, got to be more focused, but tactically, is there something they should be doing differently? You see, to me, you know, there isn't the sort of variation in pace of attack as well as direction. I've talked about the necessity to be very, very precise. You know, just before the mid-game interval, there was a shocking low serve by the Japanese pair. Does it all start and revolve around that serve, return and third shot?
Well, I do. I think, you know, obviously every rally starts with the first 3 shots, and they're so important. So important to give you that momentum into the rally. What I find that the Japanese are doing at the moment is they tend to be hitting it back to the Chinese. They're hitting straight down the line, or they're hitting directly across to the opposition. They're not using that variation through the centre of the court, which I think creates that uncertainty.
Nothing you can do about that. Shuttle hit the top of the tape, fell over.
12-6.
Frustration there from Tian after yet another very long rally.
7.
I have a suggestion for the Japanese pair. I think when they're in the attacking formation, and most of the time they like to have Takahashi at the back with Matsutomo going forward, but I think she's a little bit static at the front of the court. I would like to see more movement where she's really hunting the shuttle, because a number of times I think that her partner has hit a smash where if she had been on the move and trying to anticipate more, she could have anticipated.
Instead, she's let the shuttle fly back past her. To
exactly. It
doesn't improve their position in the court at all.
Shut's over. 13-7.
Yeah, now look at this. Now you see, I think she could have anticipated and intercepted that one, instead of which they've ended up losing the rally. So it's that movement off the shuttle.
7.
It's like the footballer making a run out wide, dragging defenders with him. Opens up the opportunity for somebody to come through. Oh, it was closer than I thought.
We saw the opposition, we saw the Chinese doing the opposite thing there. They were using a lot of half smashes through the centre of the court, drop shots, really mixing it up, and I think that's where they've got the better of the Japanese today. Yeah.
That's a clever smash.
Bringing it back across the player into the centre of the court. Haven't seen enough of that when the Japanese have been attacking.
Missed it. There's almost a look of resignation from the Japanese pair.
Service over. 8-16.
I was specifically watching the player at the front of the court and their movement off the shuttle in that rally. And there's a huge contrast between the two pairs. Look at this movement there from Tian Qing. Little step back from the net area, and as her partner is hitting, she's moving forward again, so that she's already on the move towards the net before her chance to intercept. Very, very different. Good use in the mid-court area from the Olympic champions.
8.
Certainly lifted their game to a new level today in search of their title.
Winners of the Indonesia Super Series event last week, of course, the Chinese combination, but they didn't have to play the final. They were given a walkover from teammates Ma Jin and Tang Yuanting. That's great interception. Good work at the front from Zhao Yunlei.
98.
Racket work is remarkable here. Anticipation again.
Two points away from a second title in 2 weeks.
Match point. 8.
12 match points, to be precise.
It's over. 9-20.
No, Chinese want the shuttle changed. Japanese pair don't.
Game.
Well, second time of asking. and a second title in consecutive tournaments. Winners in Indonesia and winners here at the Australian Open. Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. Confirmation of the score, 21-15, 21-9 in 43 minutes. The Olympic champions, there may be speculation about how long they're going to play in this partnership, but they showed us today why they are the Olympic champions. Zhao Yunlei, I thought especially, was very effective coming forward in court, as she always is, which is why she's Olympic mixed doubles champion as well. And as far as the Japanese pair are concerned, well, solid as always, but just not finding enough winners and forcing enough weak replies.
As the players, Jill, prepare for the medal presentation, there are our matches so far. We've had a mixed doubles and of course now the women's doubles. What does winning consecutive tournaments on the MetLife BWF World Superseries mean? Put that into perspective for us.
Well, it's a huge effort, and considering Zhao Yunlei also won the mixed doubles in Japan, so the third tournament in this run of three, I think she's going to earn herself at least a day's rest.
Let's head down to the official presentation.
To do the prize presentation of the women's doubles, we have Mr. Nigel Skelp, Chair of Marketing, BWF, accompanied by Mr. Terence Koo, CEO of Enterprise Sports Group.
And hopefully they'll get the check right this time.
The medals for the runner-up of the women's doubles presented to Masaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi of Japan. The medals of the winner of the women's doubles presented to Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei from China.
I think the smiles say it all.
12th career title for this Chinese pair, an 8th Super Series title. Well, for Zhao Yunlei, who's so dominant in mixed doubles as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner
a
of the women's
44th title in international competition.
And Zhao Yunlei of China.
And the winners hold up the perpetual trophy as the women's doubles winners for 2014 here at the Star Australian Badminton Open. Now, here's the important part. We've got the runners-up checks going to the runners-up. Handy little purse there, 28,500 US. And to the winners, almost 60,000 US. That's our champions in the women's doubles. And we have more fantastic badminton action coming up shortly.
Congratulations again to the players. We are coming to you from the State Sports Centre at Homebush in Sydney. Some of the sights of the magnificent Harbour City. You can see the city centre in the background there, and of course the Sydney Harbour and the Harbour Bridge and the wonderful Opera House. Some of the magnificent sights that you will see if you come visit Sydney, of course, in New South Wales. We are here for the Star Australian Badminton Open of 2014. It is the latest stop on the MetLife BWF World Super Series coming up, women's singles.
Yes, and looking at the Super Series list, as you can see, 3 Chinese players at the top, but with Wang Sheshan reaching the semi-final here in Sydney. She will go up a place when the rankings are republished next week. She'll go up to number 2. The player who's currently at number 10, she moved up 4 places after a quarter-final in Indonesia. If she wins today, she'll go up to number 8, and obviously will be 1 place lower than that if she's beaten in today's final against the European champion, Carolina Marin. Well, isn't that a healthy sight from semi-final stage onwards? 4 different nations involved. And how lovely to see a European player not only in the final, but her first ever Super Series tournament final for Carolina Marin.
Carolina, would you like yellow or blue?
Yellow.
Yellow? Blue for you? Yellow?
I serve?
Yes.
Oh, that's chosen serve. So Eric
Side.
Kirk,
This side.
umpire from Denmark. And for Sina Newell, this is her 10th Super Series tournament final, but it's her first since reaching the final of the 2012 French Open. So that's 20 months ago. So 20 months since her last Super Series tournament final. She is the number 6 seed. She's up 1 place in the world ranking this week to number 8. She has been as high as 2. And as I said just now, she is the Olympic bronze medalist. She's already won 1 tournament this year, and that was the Saeed Modi Grand Prix Gold, which was her first title for 15 months. And she has had a couple of really hard matches, both of them against Chinese players in the very first